Hello everyone, welcome you all in Linear Algebra lecture series. This is the lecture 5th of Linear Algebra. In the last lecture, I have discussed some important results about linear transformation. The link of the last lecture is in the description. You can go and watch the video. Now in this video, I am going to discuss some important conceptual problems about linear transformation which were asked in CSIR NET exams. So let's start. The first problem is, let S is a linear transformation from R cube to R4 and T be a linear transformation from R4 to R cube such that T composition S is the identity map of R cube. Then the first option is S composition T is the identity map of R4. S composition T is 1 1 but not on 2. S composition T is 1 2 but not 1 1. S composition T is neither 1 1 nor 1 2. How can we solve this type of problem? First, try to do this problem by yourself. If you feel any difficulty, then you can watch this video. Solution. First of all, what is given to us? S is a linear transformation from R cube to R4 and T is a linear transformation from R4 to R cube. It is given that T composition S is a linear transformation from R cube to R cube such that this T composition S is the identity transformation. Okay. To solve this problem, we will use some important results. First, let's recall those results. Okay. First, let's recall those results. The first result is, if f and g are two functions such that both f and g are 1 1 plus onto, then their composition f composition g or g composition f, this is also 1 1 and onto. That means if f and g are bijective, then their composition is also bijective map. If f and g both are 1 1, then this implies that their composition, it is also 1 1 map. The third result is, if f and g both are onto map, then their composition is also onto map. The fourth result is, if f composition g is 1 1, then this implies that g is 1 1. But here we cannot conclude anything about the function f. Okay. The fifth result is, if f composition g is onto, then this implies that f is onto. Now here we cannot conclude anything about this function g. Okay. So these are very important results. Okay. We will use these results to solve our problem. Okay. T composition S is a identity map, and we know that identity map is a bijective map, that means 1 1 plus 1 2. So T composition S map is 1 1 plus 1 2. See, T composition S is 1 1. So this will imply that the map S is 1 1. Okay. And T composition S is onto. So this will imply that T is onto map. Okay, this is given to us. Now, the first option is saying, see, the first option is S composition T is the identity map of R4. S composition T is 1 1 but not on 2. S composition T is on 2 but not 1 1. S composition T is neither 1 1 nor on 2. First option is S composition T is the identity map. See, if S composition T is the identity map, this will imply that S composition T is 1 1 plus on 2 map. Okay. So S composition T is 1 1. This will imply that T is 1 1. S composition T is on 2 will imply that S is on 2. Okay. But see, T is given a linear transformation from R4 to RQ. And S is a given linear transformation from R3 to R4. So here T cannot be 1 1. Cannot be 1 1 because the dimension of that domain space is greater than the dimension of the codomain space. So T cannot be 1 1. Here S cannot be onto map. Okay, because the dimension of the codomain space is greater than the dimension of the domain space. I have already discussed this result in the last lecture. Okay. So that means the first option A is a wrong option. Okay. Now the second option is S composition T is 1 1 but not on 2. Now we need to check about 1 1 and on 2. See. S composition T, if S composition T is 1 1, this will imply that T is 1 1. We have already seen that T cannot be 1 1 map. So that implies that S composition T cannot be 1 1 linear transformation. Okay. So the B option is wrong. The C option is saying that S composition T is onto. If S composition T is onto, this will imply that S is onto. But we have already seen that S cannot be onto. Okay, so the C option is also wrong. So the D option is right. S composition T is neither 1 1 nor onto. Now I think it is clear to you. So now let's move to the next question. The next problem is, let T from R to the power n to R to the power n be a linear transformation, then which of the following statement implies that T is bijective? Okay. See, here T is a linear operator. Okay. So let's solve it first. Solution. T is given a linear operator from the finite dimensional space R to the power n to R to the power n. First, recall the result that if T is a linear transformation from a finite dimensional vector space B to vector space B, then Then if T is 1 1, this will implies that T is bijective. Okay. If T is on 2, this will also implies that T is bijective. Okay. I have already discussed these results in the last lecture. Please go and watch that video first. Okay. So now here we will use this result. Now the first option is given nullity of T equal to n. See, the null space of T is a subspace of vector space R to the power n. This vector space has dimension n, and null space of T is a subspace of this. If this has a dimension n, this will imply that this null space of T is same as R to the power n. So from this we can conclude that T of x is equal to 0 for every x belongs to R to the power n. So that means T is a zero transformation. But this zero transformation is not onto, okay, because its image space contains only the zero vector. So this T cannot be onto here. So T cannot be bijective. So the first option is wrong. Or you can use the result to discard first option. See, a linear transformation T from a vector space V to V is 1 to 1 if and only if null space of T is a zero space. Here the null space of T has dimension n. So that means null space of T is not a zero space. So T is not injective map. If T is not injective, so T cannot be bijective. Okay, so the first option is wrong. Now for the second option, rank of T equal to nullity of T equal to n. Use the rank nullity theorem. Rank of a linear transformation T plus nullity of the linear transformation T is equal to the dimension of vector space P. Here V is R to the power n. Okay, so dimension of vector space V here is n. If nullity of T equal to n, rank of T equal to n, and nullity of T equal to n, this will to n, which is not equal to n. So this type of linear transformation does not exist. Okay, so the V option is wrong. For the third option, take a linear transformation T defined as x1, x2 and so on xn equal to 0, x2 and so on xn. Okay, so the range space of this linear transformation T is 0, x2 and so on xn vector. Okay, that is the rank of T is n minus 1, and the null space of this linear transformation T is x1 all are 0, and the nullity of this linear transformation T is 1. Okay, so it is satisfying the rank of T plus nullity of T equal to n. But see, this T is not 1 1 as null space of T is not a zero space. So this linear transformation tree is not 1 1, so it cannot be bijective. So the third option is also wrong. Now the fourth option D. See, rank of T minus nullity of T equal to n. So this implies that rank of T equal to n plus nullity of T. Alright, see, rank of T, rank space of T is a subspace of R to the power n. So the dimension of range space of T, that is rank of T, must be less than equal to n. But here rank of T equal to n plus some non-negative number. So rank of T is less than equal to n only if nullity of T is 0. So if nullity of T equal to 0, this is only possible if and only if T is injective, that is 1 1. Okay, so if T is 1 1, so that will imply that T is bijective. Okay, so the fourth option D is correct and all other are incorrect. Okay, this is done. Now let's move to the next problem. The next problem is, let B be the space of twice differentiable functions on R satisfying f double dash minus 2f dash plus f equal to 0. Define a linear transformation T from vector space B to R2 by T of f equal to f dash 0, comma f of 0. Then T is 1 1 and on to 1 1, not on to but not 1 1, neither 1 1 nor on to. Okay. Vector space B is given as set of all those functions from R to R such that which satisfies f double dash minus 2f dash plus f equal to 0. First, solve this differential equation. Okay, it is easy to solve. F double dash minus 2f dash plus f equal to 0. D square f minus 2d f plus f equal to 0. With this d is dy dx, a differential operator. So d square minus 2d plus 1. Now the auxiliary equation is d square minus 2d plus 1 equal to 0. The root of this quadratic equation is 1 comma 1. So the solution of this differential equation will be c1 plus x times c2 into e to the power root 1 into x. Okay. So this means that vector space B contains all those functions f of x equal to c1 plus x times c2 into e to the power x, where c1 and c2 are arbitrary constant. Okay. See, this vector space B is spanned by e to the power x, comma x times e to the power x. You can check that this set is linearly independent by checking that Wronskian of e to the power x, e to the power x, and its differentiation is not equal to 0. Okay. It is easy to check. You can check it by yourself. Okay. This set is linearly independent. Now we have given a linear transformation from vector space B to R2 defined as T of f equal to f dash 0, comma f of 0. Alright. So find the image of basis vector under the transformation T. So image of T e to the power x under T is differentiation of e to the power x is e to the power x, so e to the power 0 is 1. This is also 1. And the second is T of x times e to the power x will be equal to See, the differentiation of x into e to the power x is so at 0 it is e to the power 0 is 1 and f of 0 will be 0 here. So T maps this set as 1 1 1 0. This is a basis for a vector space B and this is a basis for vector space R2. If a linear transformation T maps a basis set to a basis set in the finite dimensional vector space, then that linear transformation T is bijective. Okay? I have stated this result in the last lecture. Okay? So that means T is 1 1 plus onto map. So the first option is correct option and the other will be wrong. Now the next problem is, let V and W be finite dimensional vector spaces over R and let T1 from vector space B to B and T2 from vector space W to W be linear transformations whose minimal polynomials are given by f1x and f2x. Let T be another linear transformation from B direct sum W to B direct sum W with a linear transformation defined by T of B comma W equal to T1 of B comma T2 of W, where V of W belongs to B direct sum W, and let f of x be the minimal polynomial of T. Then we have to find the degree of f of x and the nullity of the linear transformation T. Okay, so how can we solve this type of problem? First of all, see, T is given a linear transformation from vector space B direct sum W to B direct sum W, okay, which is defined as follows. If a linear transformation T is defined as T of V comma W as T1 of V comma T2 of W, okay, then the matrix representation of this T with respect to any basis B will be in the block form. This is the diagonal block form. This is a zero matrix, this is a zero matrix, and this is the matrix representation of the linear transformation T1, and this is the matrix representation of the linear transformation T2. Okay. Now use the result that if a matrix A has the block form, this and this is a zero matrix, and B, C, D are any matrix, then in this case the characteristic polynomial of this matrix A is the product of the characteristic polynomial of this matrix B and D into characteristic polynomial of the matrix D. Okay, and the second result is, if the matrix representation of A is in the diagonal block form, this is the diagonal block form, okay, then in this case the characteristic polynomial of this matrix A is the product of the characteristic polynomial of the matrix B and D, and the minimal polynomial of this matrix A is LCM of the minimal polynomial of the LCM of the minimal polynomial of the matrix B and minimal polynomial of the matrix D. This the matrix representation of the linear transformation T is in the diagonal block form. So the minimal polynomial of T is the LCM of the minimal polynomial of T1 and T2. Okay, so that implies that minimal polynomial of T, which is given as f of x, is equal to LCM of the minimal polynomial of f1 and f2. Now, the minimal polynomial f of x will be LCM of f1 and f2. f1 x this is equal to x square plus 1 into x plus 1, and f2x is x to the power 4 minus x square minus 2 is equal to x square plus 1 into x square minus 2. Okay, so the mean LCM of f1 and f2 is equal to x square plus 1 into x plus 1 into x square minus 2. So this is equal to the minimal polynomial of the linear transformation T. So here see, the degree of f of x is 2 plus 1 plus 2, which is equal to 5. So degree of f of x is 5. So the B option is true and A is wrong. Now what about the nullity of T? See, the minimal polynomial of f of x is given as x square plus 1 into x plus 1 into x square minus 2. So eigenvalues of T are plus minus iota minus 1 and plus minus square root of 2. See, 0 is not an eigenvalue of linear transformation T, so the determinant of T, which is equal to the determinant of the matrix T, is non-zero, because determinant is the product of the eigenvalues. So this is non-zero. This if and only if T is invertible. Okay, T is invertible if and only T is injective. That implies that null space of T is a zero space. So the nullity of T will be 0. So the option B and D are true. Okay, this is done. Now the next problem is, let T1 T2 be two linear transformation from R to the power n to R to the power n. Let x1, x2 and so on xn be a basis of R to the power n. Suppose that T1 of xi is not equal to 0 for every I equal to 1, 2 and so on n, and that xi is orthogonal to kernel of T2, that is null space of T2. Okay, for every I equal to 1, 2 and so on n, then which of the following is or are necessarily true? The first option is T1 is invertible, T2 is invertible, both T1 T2 are invertible, neither T1 nor T2 is invertible. So let's do this problem. Let's check it for n equal to 2. T1 will be a linear transformation from R2 to R2. Define T1 as x comma y equal to x plus y comma 0. So this is a linear transformation. You can check it. Let 1 0 and 0 1 is a basis of R2. Then T of 1 comma 0 is 1 0 and T of 0 1 is 1 comma 0. See, this B is a basis. Okay, what T of B, that is T of 1 0, T of 0 1, not a basis, as these two are linearly dependent. Okay, now recall the result. A linear transformation T from a finite dimensional vector space P to B is invertible if and only if T maps a basis set to a basis set. Okay, see here, this is a basis set, but T of B is not a basis set, so T cannot be invertible by this result. So this result is very important result. Okay, so this implies that this is a T1, okay, T1. So T1 is not invertible. Alright, so this implies that first option A is wrong, third option C is also wrong. Okay, now 42. See, 42, it is given that the basis vector xi are orthogonal to null space of T2. Given is xi is orthogonal to kernel of T2. See, kernel of T2 is the set of all those x belongs to R to the power n such that T2 of x is a 0 vector. Okay. See, these xi are orthogonal to kernel of T2. This implies that inner product of xi with x is 0, 0 for every x belongs to kernel of T2. Now, let's take the basis vector xi as ai1, ai2 and so on, ain for I equal to 1, 2 up to n. See, these xi are basis vectors, so these vectors are linearly independent. And take x as y1, y2 and so on, yn. Now, the inner product of xi with x will be equal to a11, a12 and so on, a1n. This will be an1, an2 and so on, ann. Okay. y1, y2 and yn. So inner product of xi with x will be 0. See, the rows of this matrix are linearly independent rows. Okay. So this implies that the determinant of this matrix, let's say this matrix is A, so the determinant of this matrix A will be non-zero. As the rows are linearly independent, so determinant will be non-zero. So it implies that this Ax equal to 0 here, determinant of A is non-zero. This implies that this system of equation has unique solution, okay, and that is the trivial solution, x is 0. So this thing implies that null space of T2 contains the vector x equal to 0 only, okay. So null space of T is a 0 space. So null space of T is a 0 space depend only if T2 is 1 1. See, T2 is a linear transformation. See, T2 is a linear transformation from R to the power n to R to the power n. Both these are the same dimension. So T2, if T2 is 1 1, this will imply that T2 is on 2. So T2 is invertible. Okay. So the second option B is true. T2 is invertible and the fourth option will be wrong. So this is also done. Now let's move to the next problem. The next problem is, let R of x denote the vector space of all real polynomials. Let T from Rx to Rx denote the map df equal to df by dx, that is a differential map. Then d is 1 1, d is on 2. There exists E from Rx to Rx such that decomposition E of f is f for every f, okay. Or there exists a map E from Rx to Rx such that decomposition D is f. Okay. See, D is given a differential operator. Okay. So let's take f of x as a constant polynomial in R of x. Okay, then d of f of x will be 0. This implies that all the constant polynomial f of x equal to c belongs to the null space of this differential operator d. So the null space of this differential operator d is a non-zero space. So this implies that d cannot be 1 1. Alright. So the first option A is wrong. Now can D be onto? See here, the polynomial space, this Rx is a infinite dimensional space. So if T is not 1 1, this will not imply that T is not onto, okay. If T is a linear transformation from vector space B to B, where B is an infinite dimensional space, then it is possible that T is 1 1 but not onto, or vice versa, T is onto but not 1 1. It is possible in infinite dimensional space, okay, but not in the finite dimensional space. So for onto, take any polynomial f of x in R of x, okay. Then there exists a polynomial integration of f of x in R of x such that differentiation of this integration of f of x is equal to f of x. So see, For every polynomial f of x, there exists a polynomial this such that d of this is f of x. So this will imply that d is onto. Okay. So d is not 1 1 but d is onto map. See, for the third option C, there exists a map E from Rx to Rx such that decomposition E of f equal to f for every f. This implies that decomposition E is an identity map. See, the identity map is 1 1 plus onto map. So decomposition E is 1 1 implies that this E is 1 1. Decomposition E is onto implies that D is onto. So here, see, D is onto. We have proved already. So this implies that yes, there exists a linear map E from Rx to Rx such that decomposition E is identity map. Okay, so the third option C is correct. But see, the fourth option D is not correct. If there exists a linear map E from Rx to Rx such that E composition D is identity. Okay, this implies that E composition D is 1 1 plus onto. Now see, E composition D is given 1 1 plus onto. Then this will imply that D is 1 1 and E is onto. But see, D is not 1 1. We have already proved. D is not 1 1. So this type of map E will not exist. Okay. So the fourth option D is wrong. So the only options true are B and C. So this is enough for today. So in the next lecture, I will discuss some important properties and result about matrices. In that chapter is going to be very important. Okay. So don't miss that chapter. Okay. So thank you all.